Hello, Greg Johnson here, and welcome to another Sales Success series. Today, we're going to kick off a new series inside the Sales Success series, and that is the Account Manager 2020. Today, I would like to introduce to you Charley Bergs, who joins us from the Appleton, Wisconsin area. Hello, Charley.
Hey, good morning, Greg.
Great to have you with us. Check this out. Charley has been with us for 12 years. He currently has won 8 President's Clubs. And Charley's just a wealth of knowledge. And I'm just going to kind of talk to Charley a little bit about, the business today and being an account manager. Charley, thanks for joining me. First I just wanted to talk, just kind of real off the cuff, like what's your approach to the business on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, it's really, we've used this term throughout the company, but client for life, really, it's, I try to take care of my clients the best that I can, whether I've had them for 30 days, 12 months, or 10 years. The better that I can do for them, the more benefits I'm going to get in return from them. So every day it's really about what can I do? I think you've even said, always be helping, ABH. That's a true mindset to have. How can I make this client better every time I'm looking at their account?
Give me a couple examples of something that you might do for an existing client of yours that to retain them and to possibly bring fresh ideas their way.
Sure. And it really depends on what kind of relationship I currently have with the client, how long they've been with me. If I've had them for 10, 12 years, which I have, I don't have to touch them as much as you would think. Those guys, I've earned that trust. They know what they're doing with me. They know that it works. If anyone comes through the door, I work with Charley Bergs. It's like he handles all my stuff, and that's great. But to get him to that point, so it's really about setting an agenda up front with them, whether I just sold them new or I'm taking over the account or we're transitioning a lot of their print to digital. It's, hey, how often would you like me to be in touch with you? Because that, one, I know how often I got to get in touch with these guys, but two, if we ever have an issue down the road, which I just had an issue with a guy recently, he wasn't getting as many leads as he was hoping. We found out that his website had an old tracking number from his old website provider. I'm the one that found that, but I was like, hey, if that phone number's not working, you probably missed a bunch of calls over the last couple of months. And I told him, it's like, I've been texting and emailing you for, probably 45 days saying, hey, we need to get together and just see how things are going. This is why I want to be able to get together with you every 30 days, whether it's how is your campaign doing or how can I help you with any issues that you're having. And that meant the world to him. Just from that help, within a week, we got it figured out, got him happy. Came back in the following week and transitioned $1,000 he's putting into radio into increasing his online display. So, it's really about how often do people want to meet with you. Otherwise, on a client that I may have just brought on for a digital program or brand new client, it's really making sure I touch base with them all throughout the proofing process. And then I usually set a note about 30 days after the campaign goes live to get with them in person or over the phone for a Zoom call like this. And then every 45 to 60 days after, whichever is preferable, in person, a Zoom meeting, a phone call, even doing a video, sharing some screenshots of the results always works well too. But really finding what works well for them. And as time goes on, you kind of get a good feel of your relationship and what they're understanding of how this is working. You can kind of wean off a lot of touch points. So that's kind of a lot of information. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I mean, it sounds like so you're utilizing like the dashboards, video, as many touch points as you can from outside there. I know we talked just personally when I was out in visiting with you guys at a sales rally, like, what's the benefit? What have you found the benefits to you of keeping that? We throw that term around, client for life, but how's that benefited you?
Yeah, so for me, it's really been able to build my book of business. I don't have to churn and burn every year of getting new sales just to keep my assignment at even keel every year. benefits of keeping those clients for life is, one, they're going to do more with you because they see the fruits of your labor. they see growth in their business. So, hey, what's that other product we talked about? Or can I do more and, increase them on what they're currently doing? So that's one really good benefit of taking care of your clients. And then two, which is huge for me, is referrals. We live by new. Our income is based on new, especially with the comp plan now. And I probably get 1 to 2 referrals a month, whether I ask for them or not. I think you have to earn the right to ask someone for a referral. And when you've earned that right to ask for a referral, they'll tell you their best friend across the street who has a, $20 million business. So earning that right for that referral, and it just, it takes the pressure off of having to prospect, whether it's cold calling, knocking on doors, or making phone calls. Because, hey, we got this referral system down coming from clients that I just did my job correctly and took care of them well. That makes the job easier. That's
wonderful. In addition to that, I know you had mentioned something about, I was on another call with you one time about your PCS within your PCS. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, PCS within the PCS, like the PCS list is great. And I think, a tool that I use every day is one, looking at the PCS list, but then really kind of narrowing that down into my own list of people that there's a reason for me to go through that door and talk to that business owner. Whether it's, hey, you have no page 1 placement for your main city under your main keyword phrase. I see you're doing pay-per-click ads, but they're coming up on the bottom of the page. I saw this social media ad, but really didn't have any motivating factors for me to want to click on it, or just something to show them how you can help them make something that they're currently doing better. I think it makes the likelihood of you getting a sit and earning that business, because you've done a little research and you found some red flags, versus, man, I hope you're just in a good mood today and willing to spend some money with me.
That's good stuff, man. And I always talk about that. It builds our confidence level as well. You feel you have something you can really help them with there. How about like on an ongoing basis? Like what do you feed yourself with to keep yourself, you're achieving consistently throughout. What suggestion would you give to some newer reps or some of your peers that could use some help?
For newer reps, it's probably not the greatest answer they want to hear, but you really need to do the basics and the numbers. Take the tools that you were given to you in training, use the process that what you were trained on, and you kind of need to do the numbers, so to speak, of keeping up your closes per week on your current clients, making sure you're hitting the 50 visits and 25 phone calls until you find that groove of what really works well for you. And now you're finding a consistent, method every week, every month throughout the year. And I usually say that could take you 12 months, it could take you 18 months, it could take you 2 years. But once you find the groove, it's like, wow, this is really clicking, and now I'm grooving, and that's what we all want to get to. For people who have been here for a long time and are finding maybe some gaps in their new, or finding some gaps in their increase or renewal. Sometimes I may say, hey, it might be a little, you might have to have a little self-checking moment, and maybe you've strayed away from some of those basics that work well for you. You kind of need to have a rehash session of what worked well for me in the past and get back to it. We all have hills and valleys throughout our sales success throughout a year, and you can't abandon what's worked well for you or the tools that work well for you just because you hit a little bit of a low point. We all hit it, but we know what works well, and you've got to hold strong to that. And maybe if you've been here a long time, just really think about, what did I do in the past that worked well? Maybe I strayed away from it too much. Yeah, that's great. It always comes down to the basics, right? And in our pre-conversation with this, you talked about like using the presentation, using all the tools, and sometimes I think people look at your success and they think, well, he probably shortchanged, doesn't do that. And it's the complete opposite of that, right? I'll tell anybody, needs assessment is huge, and you preach on that, Greg, as well. In your presentation, I do a full digital presentation on every single new presentation that I have. I don't shortchange it. If someone's going to shortchange me on I don't really have time for that, then you know what? We should reschedule. If you're not willing to reschedule with me, then this probably isn't going to be a very good sit. But I think that presentation is huge, especially even with your current clients, to keep them engaged with what we're doing every so often, whether it's every 6 months or a year or 2 years. Like, go through that presentation with them again, because we probably got something new they didn't know about.
Right. That's great information. Well, I'm going to close out with that. Any last words you want to leave us with, or are you?
Man, I said a lot of words already, so I would just say, whether you've been here 2 months, 2 years, or 20 years, like, we all have highs, we all have lows. Don't stray away from the basics, and get out there and talk to someone who's doing well, whether that's myself, a guy like you, Greg, or someone in your marketplace. We all want to make each other help each other do better and have success. So
Fantastic, Charlie. It's been a real pleasure meeting you in person and also working with you here. Thanks for helping our organization. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
thank you.